Okay, just give me 2 seconds here. We'll start 7 minutes late. Give me one more second here. Okay, thanks for your patience. It is 2:05, so I'll call the meeting to order. And this is a special council meeting, October 21st, and we'd like to acknowledge that the district operates within the territory of the traditional territory of the Tla-o-qui-aht First Nation. Notice to attendees that the meeting is being video recorded and will be published on the District of Tofino's YouTube channel. There's no objection to adopting the agenda as presented. I'll move adoption. Seeing no objection, agenda is adopted. Do we have a public comment on agenda items, Ms. Best? Sorry, no.
Feel free to unmute.
Thank you, Mayor. There's no attendees at the meeting, so we would not have any at the moment.
Perfect. Just making sure. I had one attendee, actually. I saw one attendee there. Was I mistaken?
No. Our communications coordinator, Sarah Gray.
Okay, perfect. Great. Then we have presentation report. We have meeting procedure amendment bylaw, reading first, second, and third, and we have a report from corporate services.
Hello, Mayor and Council. Thank you so much for joining me today on this special council meeting. I'm going to show you a brief presentation that aligns with the report provided earlier. I have to ask the question, everyone can see my screen? Yes, wonderful. Okay, so just going to go right into it here. Be mindful of everyone's time on this Thursday. The meeting procedure, the purpose of this presentation and report is to amend the current District of Tofino meeting procedures bylaw number 1229/2016 to allow for electronic and hybrid meetings based on the new legislative amendments to the Community Charter and the Local Government Act. And this actually directly aligns with our strategic plan goal to enhance communications and community engagement to increase civic participation and informed decision-making. Brief history is that on June 1st, 2021, the province of British Columbia adopted Bill 10, the Municipal Affairs Statute Amendments Act, to introduce changes to the Community Charter under Section 128 and the Local Government Act, Section 465, which is specific to public hearings. These changes provide permanent authority for municipalities to choose by bylaw whether to conduct meetings, regular committee or hearings electronically, in addition to special meetings that are already authorized under the Charter. That's what we're having today, which we are authorized to do so. The electronic meeting requirements as of September 28th, 2021, and that's a specific date that ministerial order expired on September 28th. Ministerial Order 192, which was the COVID provisions allowing us to have electronic meetings. So once that expired, these new permissions from the Community Charter and Local Government Act came into force. So these electronic meeting requirements now that we are under with the Community Charter and the Local Government Act require that we authorize and conduct in accordance with our procedure bylaw if we're going to hold electronic meetings. We must establish procedures for giving advance notice of meetings to be held electronically, and we must provide notice of the way in which meetings are to be conducted and the place where the public can attend to hear or watch and hear the regular meeting. That means using technology that enables the meeting participants to hear or watch and hear each other, and providing a location for the public to attend to hear or watch and hear the meeting. And we usually need to have a designated municipal officer in place when we provide a facility for these meetings to happen. So specific considerations for Tofino, because not every community has a good fit for electronic or hybrid meetings. So the things that we considered in the Corporate Services Department and staff when we were looking at the amendments to this bylaw was that first is the population makeup of Tofino. As we know, Tofino has a growing population of non-resident property electors or seasonal residents who are unable to attend all of our in-person meetings. So allowing for hybrid and electronic meetings allows for increased public participation. Second, the available technology information security requirements. So as we know, council chambers is fully equipped for live broadcasting. We're lucky to have that set up from previous staff and councils. So thank you to the previous predecessors for myself and staff and council. And so having electronic meetings on Zoom and broadcasts on YouTube Live, we're already doing those things. So this is not a change that's going to be hard to implement. The third thing is the physical space needs and the meeting location facilities that are available to us today. As we know, the existing council chamber is just quite small, and if we were to continue to have physical distancing and social distance requirements of 2 meters per body, we only really can fit 10 people within our council chambers. When we have a council of 7 and 3 staff, that really doesn't leave any space for the public to attend our public meetings or in-person meetings. And we also want to continue to support physical distancing requirements and thinking about the prevention of communicable diseases. Obviously, health and safety of council staff and attendees in relation to the prevention of communicable diseases is another top of mind subject, as local government meetings are considered essential services to the community, meaning that all meetings of council that are in person are exempt from the vaccine passport requirement. Therefore, any member of the public, vaccinated or not, can attend. And if we don't have enough spacing requirements, we are putting individuals potentially in places that may not feel comfortable. Last of all, we have accessibility needs for council, committees, staff, and the public. So allowing for hybrid meetings and electronic meetings that provide space for members of the public to view the meetings allows us to have meetings where people don't need to have a technological device. So right now, with only electronic meetings, we are requiring the public to have a device on a phone or a laptop to watch our meetings. By allowing the electronic or hybrid meetings, we still have to provide a physical space, meaning that anyone is allowed to attend a meeting, or they can not have the requirement of having a device. Also, when we provide these broadcasted meetings, you'll note that we have closed captioning. So when you have in-person only meetings, there isn't actually closed captioning available. So hearing impaired individuals aren't able to watch live meetings of council. So not only are we being inclusive for socioeconomic reasons with these hybrid meetings, but we're also being inclusive for hearing impaired as well. So the summary of proposed bylaw amendments, I have 3 slides of this. The first section that will be updated here and proposed is section 15. That's to define the types of meetings permitted to be held electronically. So we actually defined it's special meetings, closed session meetings, committees, the Board of Variance, and commissions. So we are allowing for all types of meetings of council and subcommittees of council to be held electronically or in hybrid. And then we also wanted to provide notice requirements established by the Community Charter and Local Government Act. So rather than reiterating and restating, we just reference those 2 pieces of legislation. And we're also removing sections that prohibit closed sessions from being held electronically. We don't typically have too many closed sessions in Tofino, but it would be hard to have closed session meetings if we had to have them in person immediately after an electronic meeting. So we've removed that restriction. And the last thing is to remove electronic participating limits, so except where in person only. So in the previous procedure bylaw, we would only allow a maximum of 3 council members to be participating electronically. We've removed that maximum, so all council members can then participate electronically. Slide number 2 of 3 on the summary of proposed bylaw amendments is that we are introducing the approval of meeting location as a second order of business on the council agenda. So just as we start our meeting with call meeting to order, the second meeting business would be approval of meeting location. So an example of that would look like that the October 26, 2021 regular council meeting be held electronically via Zoom and live broadcasted on the District of Tofino's YouTube channel, and that the public viewing place is located at Council Chambers and Municipal Hall at 121 3rd Street. And we can discuss later after the presentation what we're envisioning council viewing chambers or locations that could be available to the public. We have many options. But that's an example of what the meeting location approval second order of business would look like in the future. And third, replacing Schedule B with the following changes. So Schedule B is specifically all written for electronic meetings. So instead of making many minor changes in the grammar and writing, I just replaced the actual full schedule with an updated version. So we would allow for electronic or hybrid in-person and electronic meetings to be held. We also deem attendance. So if you are at the meeting electronically, you're deemed in attendance. And if you're absent, the process for a council member to leave and vote is also defined in electronic meetings. The previous Schedule B, I would like to note, council members had to state their name and their position every time they voted electronically. I've removed that at this juncture because I feel that it's appropriate for the chair to establish the voting rules at the meeting. So as we know, Mayor Law likes to use unanimous consent and other voting mechanisms provided in Robert's rules. So the chair can actually determine how voting is to proceed in electronic meetings now. And third, updating the language and count limits for electronic participation for in-person hybrid meetings. Again, we did have a limit on three council members for electronic only, but in the future, if we were to hold a in-person only meeting, council members may still have the option to call in or use Zoom in some kind of other mechanism or facility for the in-person meeting, but we did want to continue to have 3 council meetings per year maximum for specifically in-person meetings. And that could be something like a public hearing, or it could be a closed session of council that's in person, or a full day session for a budget meeting that we would request an in-person session. But this is basically giving council flexibility throughout the next year, or the next time the council procedure bylaw should be amended to have both electronic or hybrid or just in-person meetings. So should 3 readings be given today, the next steps for the corporate services is to provide notice in the Westerly News regarding the amendment. And then we would like to propose a 10-minute special council meeting held at 4:20 p.m. on November 1st, 2021, which is immediately before the committee of the whole meeting that's already on the council schedule. So we wouldn't expect council to have an extra special council meeting or commitment on their calendars. We would actually just hold a 10-minute adoption hearing meeting on the 1st. And we would begin organizing electronic and hybrid meetings based on that adoption date. So moving forward, if the 3 readings were given today, we would hope to have the bylaw adopted by November 1st. And the reason that date change is so different from today and November 1st is that we must provide 2 consecutive ads in the Westerly News for public adequate notice. So the earliest date we could really do that is November 1st. And lastly, moving forward, if we decided to adopt, or council decided to adopt the meeting procedure bylaw amendment, then moving forward November 1st, we would be in compliance with all the new rules and abilities given to us by the province to have electronic, hybrid, or in-person and meetings. So in the report, the recommendation is that District of Tofino Meeting Procedures Amendment Bylaw number 1229.03/2021 attaches Appendix 2 to the report titled Meeting Procedure Amendments, dated October 21st, 2021, be introduced and read a first, second, and third time, and that staff be authorized to provide notice to the public in accordance with sections 94 and 124.3 of the Community Charter, which is the 2 ads in the Westerly News. Thank you for your patience. I ran through that quite quickly, and I will just stop sharing my screen, and I'm prepared to answer any of your questions.
Thank you, Ms. Best, and I will open it up for questions from Councillor Chalmers.
I was just going to say I'm happy to move the recommendation if nobody has questions.
Let's just ask for questions first, and then we'll move quickly to the recommendation. Go ahead, Councillor Thick.
Yeah, thanks, Nikki, for the report and just your work on all that wording and getting it straight. Just a question: if we do adopt this, does it stays in effect until we change it again? If life changes and the pandemic changes and the meetings change, then we will just do something to maybe unwind what we've done. Or so I just want to know, does this continues indefinitely until we change? Is that correct?
Yes, just like every bylaw, they can be amended, repealed, changed, adopted. but it is important to note, we are still able just to have regular in-person meetings. This is just allowing us the ability to hold strictly electronic or hybrid meetings. So before we could only typically have in-person. So this is an addition to the existing capabilities that we have.
Thank you. And just a note to Councillor Chalmers on why I ask questions is once the motion is read, council cannot ask staff questions. It has to be just a debate between council. So that's why we'll keep the questions. And then if there are no more questions, then we will. Then Councillor Chalmers, I'll ask you move it.
Thank you. And I do understand that I just didn't see too many questions, but okay, I'll move that the District of Tofino Meeting Procedures Amendment Bylaw number 1229.03 attached as Appendix 2 to the report titled Meeting Procedure Amendments dated October 21st, 2021 be introduced and read a first, second, and third time, and the staff be authorized to provide notice to the public in accordance with sections 94 and 124.3 of the Community Charter.
Seconded by Councillor McMaster. Any further comments? Seeing none, all in favor? And motion is carried unanimously. Thank you very much, Ms. Best. Thanks for council showing up. Good job. And without further ado, do we have anybody signed up for question period?
Thank you, Mayor Law. We still only have one attendee, which is our communications coordinator. Thank you, Sarah.
Great. And then I'll move adjournment.
If I could ask just one question to gauge the thoughts of council while we're here. Is the 10-minute prior to the committee of the whole meeting amenable to council? If so, just a show of hands or nods is okay, and I shall send out that.
Just so long as it's not a 12-minute presentation.
Okay. No presentation. I don't believe I will be present at that meeting either. So
We can do that.
Okay.
Okay, but thank you very much for that.
We can do that with quorum as well. So, okay, then I'll move adjournment again. Do we have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Chalmers. All in favor?